Hi, my name is Tina Garnett. My question is for John Tory. I've heard you refer to people in my community 4 times now as those people. I just want to really challenge you on that.
Go ahead,
what
sister.
you're using to
Go
describe
ahead,
us,
sister.
or just people, not those people. The other thing is I want to ask you, in the past we've heard you deny white privilege, let alone white supremacy. Now you're standing here in front of a room full of black faces, saying you're behind anti-black racism and challenging it within the systems. I'm wondering what actually took you from being, denying white privilege and white supremacy and that racism even existed within the city of Toronto to now standing up in front of us saying you want to challenge it.
Mr. Tory. I've been honest in saying, yes. I've been honest in saying that you live and you learn, and let me say off the top, white privilege does exist. And after sitting through many of these kinds of consultation meetings and other kinds of sit-downs that I've had as recently as this weekend, and hearing people tell me a story, for example, about, when I say a story, tell me their story about being followed around a store when they go into shop, which has never happened to me, then I realize that because I am a white man and that I've grown up in a privileged, relatively privileged environment, that is something I wouldn't have experienced, and that therefore white privilege does exist. And so I will just say to you that the comments that I made were ill-informed. They were made several years ago. I've learned a lot since then. A lot of these experiences I've had to listen to people about. That's why I've been in this building so many times, and many, many buildings across the city, listening to people so that I can learn, and I can learn from my own mistakes. Those comments were ill-informed, and I understand today very much so that white privilege does exist.
Thank you, Mr. Tory. Thank you. Yes, please. Your name and who you're directing the question to.
So my name is Phil Dwight Morgan. I'm a freelance reporter.
Go ahead, Phil.
My question is for Mayor Tory. Earlier this summer, you referred to 2 gunmen as sewer rats, and that was read by many people in many black Torontonians as anti-black racism and anti-black rhetoric. I'm wondering if you can speak specifically to the things that have happened under your watch that have been perceived as anti-black. And I'm not only thinking about your comments about sewer rats, but I'm thinking specifically about policing in schools and your support of that program, the SRO program. I'm thinking also about your waffling on Bill 5 and the fact that the majority of councillors that have dropped out of the race as a result of that have been women and people of color. So can you please speak to those? On Bill 5, I will just say to you that I think I did everything that a responsible leader of Toronto would do to stand up for the city. We went to court. We actually won in the first round. We actually won in the first round.
Please allow him to answer. We're wrapping up shortly. Thank you.
I said earlier on, I've supported for some time now a ranked ballot, which would do an awful lot to make sure that people of different diverse backgrounds could get elected to city council. With respect to the language that you made reference to, I understand and appreciate how those words might have been interpreted. I will just say to you, let's go back to the day when I made those comments. I went up right away, hours after this happened, to the neighborhood where 2 little girls had been shot at a